Tonight we're going to make a chicken curry, not from a tin or a packet, but from scratch. And it's not as difficult as you might think. We're going to start off by making a paste which equates to the packet or tin you might have otherwise used, using fresh ingredients. So I've got about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of chicken curry, which is enough to serve probably 5 to 6 people. 2 chopped onions, a nice chunky piece of fresh root ginger, 4 nice cloves of garlic, and 2 de-seeded Scotch bonnet chillies. Now if you like it hotter than hot, leave the seeds in, but I've taken them out. So we're putting into the food processor the Scotch bonnet chillies, the cloves of garlic, and I'm just going to chop the ginger a bit so it'll break down a little bit better.
Can you just explain, Lesley, what this Scotch bonnet is?
Just a type of chilli. Bird's eye chillies, as in the type of chillies they are, not produced by the frozen food manufacturers. So we're going to blitz those together, so the next bit will be noisy. And then we're just going to add a few cloves to that to grind up as well, just a pinch of, 3 or 4. And blitz that again until it's mixed. I'm just going to add a handful of chopped onions to that as well and re-blitz it to give it a bit of moisture. To our mixture we're going to add a good teaspoonful of powdered coriander, 2 of garam masala, which is a mixture of Indian spices, buy them in any supermarket. A teaspoonful of ground cumin, which is the spice that I think we all associate with the smell of curry. 2 teaspoonfuls of turmeric, which again is the spice that we associate generally with the colour of curry. I'm just going to give that a quick whiz to mix them all up. And finally a good grating of nutmeg. And I do think the fresh nutmeg is a lot better than the already grated stuff that you buy in a packet. So that's the hard work done, and now we're just going to start the cooking. Into a nice deep pan, I'll add a good amount of cooking oil, anything that you want, corn oil, vegetable oil, and leave that to get warm for a moment. Next we're going to add the onion to the oil in the hot pan. And just gently saute those until they soften. So while the onions are sauteing, take a couple of tablespoonfuls of desiccated coconut and add about 1/2 pint of boiling water to it, and stir that round so that we've got some nice coconut milk. If you've got a tin of coconut milk or a packet of cream coconut, that's fine, any will do as well as the other. So to our nicely sautéed onions, which have softened nicely, we will add the paste that we prepared earlier, just tipping it in and then stirring round to blend with the onions. We need those spices all to blend nicely and to fry up a little bit to cook them so that we don't get a raw powdery taste, but just a few minutes till they've all blended in nicely. So our spices have been cooking just for a few minutes now with the onions, and they've absorbed all the oil, so we can now add the chicken to it. And we will stir that round until the chicken loses its opaqueness and takes on the colour of the curry. You could use any sort of chicken for this, the cheapest cuts will do, but my husband happens to be very fussy and will only eat breast of chicken. And of course the advantage of using breast of chicken is it does cook an awful lot quicker than thigh joints or wings. So if you take a look at the chicken now, some pieces of it still have some pink on, and that isn't the result we're looking for. We want the chicken to start looking like that side of it. It's taken on the curry colour and it's lost the opaqueness and the rawness of the chicken. So it still needs a few minutes more frying off. Once we've got the chicken to a consistent colour all over, that will have sealed in all the spices and all those flavours that we added earlier, and then we'll add the coconut milk. So the chicken's all nicely fried off now, and we're going to add the coconut milk that we prepared earlier. Now this again is a matter of personal taste. If you don't want the bits in it, strain it, but you can just add it all, coconut and everything. Then we're going to leave that to simmer now for about 20 minutes. As I say, that's with chicken breast. If you're using a tougher cut of chicken, you might need to leave that for nearer 40 minutes. So now comes the taste test. I have tried it and it certainly suits the temperature that I want to eat curry at. We need perhaps a drop of salt in it, but again that's according to taste. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of salt on there. Now if you try it and you want it hotter, this is the point where you could just add a teaspoonful of chilli powder and it'll cook off very, very quickly, but it will just add that bit of heat for you. If it's too hot for you at this point, then a carton of natural yoghurt or sour cream mixed in will take the edge off that heat. So there we are, the meal's complete now. Having adjusted the seasoning in the curry, we've just served that with a little sprinkling of fresh coriander. The choice of rice that you serve it with is entirely up to you. Tonight we've got basmati rice, which is traditional with Indian food, mixed with wild rice. And so we're serving it with some typical chutneys tonight. Some mango chutney, some tomato and onion chutney, and some mint and yoghurt raita to cool it down if it's a bit too hot, and of course a few poppadoms. So that was just as easy as opening a tin of curry sauce or a jar of curry sauce and putting it on. A little bit more preparation, but the benefits will be well worth it when you taste it.